sweet, gotta have juicy fruit.
Sometimes you just want to take a break and get away from it all. You want to go to a place where you, your family, friends and colleagues can just let loose and have fun. That place is the Chaka Ranch Leisure Park in Kiganjo, Nyeri County. Only a 2-hour drive from Nairobi. A place where you can relax, enjoy the fresh air and tour the beautiful countryside on 4 wheels. Come and connect with nature at the perfect out-of-town destination. Chaka Ranch, where everyone is a star.
Sote tunajua kuhusu ladha tamu na harufu ya kuvutia inayoletwa na onga katika vyakula vyetu. Na sasa kuna kingine kipya cha kufurahisha. Mchuzi mix mpya ya onga stew. Ina rangi ya kuvutia na ubora wa vitamini, yani Vita Eat formulation, na kuifanya bora katika vyakula vipendavyo. Jaribu onga stew mchuzi mix leo. Onga, msaada wa mama. Onga.
Bonyeza Ushinde na Safaricom is back. To enter the promotion, SMS your name to 29555 and you will earn 100 points for registration. After which, you will receive a series of questions and on answering them correctly, you shall earn points which enter you into the daily and the grand draws. There shall be one daily winner of 1 million shillings and the winner of the grand draw will get 5 million shillings plus an Isuzu TFR single cab pickup. Not only that, you also stand a chance to win daily exciting prizes like airtime and instant cash. The draw will be done every weekday at 6 p.m. live on Citizen TV. Remember, the more you SMS, the higher your chances of winning. Winners will be notified only through promotion number 0729 333 333.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Citizen Live at 1. I'm Julie Gishuru. Health Cabinet Secretary James Macharia says his ministry will comply with the Parliamentary Health Committee's directive yesterday that the ministry and the Catholic Church perform a joint test on the tetanus vaccine. Speaking after officiating the 4th Kenya National Palliative Care Conference, the minister said plans are already underway to have the joint tests over the next 1 week.
Actually, if you recall, I was in Naivasha on Saturday launching the polio vaccine. And I announced during that meeting that we shall be having a joint session or joint exercise with not just the Catholic Church, but all stakeholders to make sure that people get confidence that indeed what we are saying is true. So that committee of experts already has been formed. They had their first meeting on Monday. And so within, I think, the next week or so, we shall be able to jointly identify the vaccine samples which will be taken for proper testing at KEMRI and the Kenya Poisons and Pharmacies Board. One of the issues which, as you know, has been reported is that we have to have some sort of proper procedures, not just in testing, but also in getting the actual vaccine to be tested. And so that process will be joint between us and all stakeholders, so that nobody has got any doubt that what is being tested does not have, the real, genuine qualities for this vaccine.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that, and we stay with the palliative care conference, where health professionals have decried the poor state of care for patients with terminal illnesses. They have urged Kenyans to give more psychological and spiritual support to terminally ill patients. Let's have a look at what they had to say.
Many Kenyans suffer from various terminal illnesses such as HIV and AIDS, cancer, diabetes, among others, with cancer being the biggest cause of death, killing more people than HIV and AIDS and malaria combined. In most cases, however, people suffering from these diseases get insufficient health care and even compassion. This is what this year's 4th Palliative Conference seeks to address, sending the message that taking care of the sick people is everyone's responsibility. Health Cabinet Secretary James Macharia, who officially opened the conference, urged all Kenyans to participate in giving emotional, psychological, and spiritual support to the terminally ill.
Palliative care, therefore, gives us the most realistic, humane, and necessary objective for managing terminal cases of cancer and other non-communicable diseases and AIDS in Africa. Palliative care aims to reduce pain and suffering, improves the quality of life of patients and their families.
Palliative care, they say, is not the sole responsibility of medical practitioners. According to Emmanuel Lirika, the Executive Director of African Palliative Care Association, governments in developing countries should do more in terms of combating these diseases and caring for their patients.
Maybe with the exception of South Africa, we are still very far. And as Anne said, only less than 10% of the people who should be getting palliative care are getting it.
The health CS asked all stakeholders to collectively lobby for increased budget to support palliative care by establishing centers throughout the country.
The Ministry of Health is working closely with the Kenya Hospice and Palliative Care Association to integrate palliative care in public hospitals across the country.
The Conference on Palliative Care, which has brought together health practitioners from across the globe, aims to reverse the negative trend of poor health care and treatment of patients with serious illnesses that has been characterized with developing countries.
Because palliative care can help people at the end of life, not only from a chronic illness, but even dying, so that people can die with dignity and given compassion.
Thousands of Kenyans continue to suffer from and die of various chronic illnesses such as HIV and AIDS, malaria and cancer. But according to health professionals, if proper palliative care is taken, these diseases can not only be combated, but totally eradicated from our midst. Tobias Bele for Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Tobias, for that story. We shift gears now and move from matters of health to politics. CORD leader Raila Odinga is at the moment on a Meet the People tour of Kibra, his former constituency. Odinga is visiting a housing project and a host of other projects he initiated in the area. Our reporter Alex Kubasu is at the meeting and joins us live on the phone for details about this Meet the People tour. Alex, what can you tell us?
Yes, indeed, Julie. I am at the Kibera, which is one of the largest slums in Africa. And a very important project has been ongoing around here for quite some time now. And one of them is the Integrated Slum Upgrading Project that started some time ago. And today, CORD leader Raila Odinga, who during the Grand Coalition government initiated, alongside the former president Mwai Kibaki, one of the projects here, and he's just paid a visit there, and he's now on a round trip of the slum to meet and greet his former constituents. We are aware that he served for more than 3 terms here as the former Lang'ata Member of Parliament. So he's currently on a meet and greet the residents here. And the Integrated Slum Upgrading Project is from the look of things here, is close to 3/4 or even more than 3/4% complete. complete. And Raila says that one of the problems that is dogging the official opening for residents of Kibera who've been living in squalor and in very bad housing structures need to move in is the fact that there have been numerous court battles pitting the government, which is the initiator of the project, and the landlords who were claiming ownership to that land. So he says there have been numerous injunctions to that effect, but he says he's given the current government all the blessings and everything that since they were the initiators, the current government should take it up and proceed. He says electricity is one of the elements that is missing in the new project. But his visit is also coming hot on the heels of a project that was initiated by the Jubilee government, which is the one that is spearheaded by the National Youth Service. And from where I'm standing right now, I can see houses being actually brought down, and it looks like it's a voluntary kind of thing to pave way for the expansion of the road. And it's a project that is being spearheaded by the Ministry of Devolution and Planning, that is under the leadership of the current Cabinet Secretary Anwar Guru. And President Uhuru Kenyatta was here on Sunday. He paid an impromptu visit here, and it could be viewed that Raila is coming hot on the heels of a visit by a president, and we'll wait and hear what he has to say about the projects that are ongoing here led by the National Youth Service, and we shall be able to keep our viewers updated. Back to you, Julie, in studio.
Thank you so much for that update. Now, there was shock and panic in Iria village, Murang'a County, after a pastor was found murdered in his home. The 58-year-old church minister's body was found lying on his kitchen floor with his head in a container. Martin Munene reports.
Smoke goes up in this kitchen as it would in any other village fire. But it is in this very room that the life of 58-year-old Bedan Mwangi Chege was brutally taken out.
Yale mauaji alikuwa kinyama kwa sababu alikuwa amekatwa kichwa na alikuwa na tundu lingine inaonyeshana alikuwa amepigwa na chombo butu, na hata kwa shingo alikuwa amekatwa, alikuwa amechinjwa. Ile hali ya kutatanisha, mauaji ya kutatanisha.
Wenye kukata walimweka kichwa kwa sufuria. Damu ikamwagika kwa sufuria kadogo.
The family of the late pastor is still struggling to come to terms with the killing of their father.
Masikitiko yangu ni kunajiuliza mambo zingine zina happen huku kwa vijiji. Serikali yetu iko wapi?
Residents of Iria say they are now living in fear and are asking the government to intensify security in the area.
Vile tumesikia hiyo kitendo imetendwa hapa jana. Tunasikia woga ukiwa hata umefika hapa huwezi kuta mtu, ni vile hakuna usalama hapa.
According to Area Assistant Chief Johnny Rongo, the locals should not rush into conclusions.
Watu wasije wakajanganyika kwa pengine ni mambo ya Mungiki. Hiyo inaonekana sio Mungiki. Pengine mtu ambaye alikuwa amelipwa kufanya hiyo kazi.
Saizi alifanya hivyo na akatoweka. Na ni kama hatujui kama atapatikana ama mambo yake itaishia tu hapo. Lakini Mungu mwenyezi ndio ulipisha, na hiki lazima atalipisha.
The body of the deceased has since been taken to the Moriranja's mortuary. Martin Munene for Citizen Live at 1.
A truly horrifying story there. A 47-year-old woman has been arrested in Kitale after she was allegedly caught with a bag of bangi worth 90,000 shillings. The woman claims she needed to sell the drug to raise funds for her husband's hospital bill. Bona Reri Samaha has more on this story.
Administration police officers from Kiminini sub-county in Trans Nzoia County arrested the woman identified as Esther Nanjala as she was selling the drug to a customer. Kiminini location senior chief Geoffrey Mutoka said the customer was buying 2 kilograms of bang when the officers raided her house.
Tuliweza kupata mteja mmoja ambaye alikuwa amekuja kununua, kwa majina anaitwa Joshua Muko Mudhole. Yeye kijana ukimmoja anasema yeye anachukua aende atumie mwenyewe. Korokoro mbili unaenda kuweka kwa kifua vijana.
The woman, however, claims that she had to sell the bang so as to pay her husband's hospital bill. She also says that it was her first time to sell such a large amount of the drug.
Nikaamua nilete hii kitu pengine nikiuza ndio nipate pesa.
Joshua Mugo, the man who was buying the bang, said it was for his personal use and not for sale.
Bangi hii nilikuwa nimekuja tu yangu ya kuvuta. Sikukuwa na mambo mengi.
The chief says that the drugs are suspected to have been smuggled from a neighboring country and claims the woman has been implicated in numerous cases of selling bang. Bonareri Samaha, Citizen Live at 1.
Well, we have two stories of fires, and we start with the one in Maralal High School. 100 students are still displaced following a fire that gutted down their dormitory in the school in October 2014. That's last month. Now, according to the school principal, Justice Kilai, the students, most of whom are in Form 3 and 4, have been forced to be accommodated by fellow students as the school tries to recover from the incident. The Kenya Commercial Bank Maralal branch has come to their help, though. They are donating 50 mattresses worth 50,000 shillings in efforts to resettle the students. The principal is appealing to well-wishers as well to donate items to the students and funds to help rebuild the dorm.
It was important for us as part of our part of our CSR, for us to be able to support them in terms of buying them mattresses.
They don't have beds and they don't have a shelter where they can be accommodated. We are now appealing to our well-wishers who are willing to come and assist us to construct that one dorm and buy beds, about 100 of them, then plus another item already which was consumed under that house.
Maralal High School, they are seeking assistance to rebuild after a fire destroyed a dormitory last month. Meanwhile, property of unknown value was destroyed last night when a fierce fire razed down a dormitory that hosted over 80 boys at Murang'a High School in Murang'a County. Safi Godana has the details for us.
It is reported that the fire broke out at around 6:30 in the evening when the students were out of their dormitories attending an end-of-term meeting with their teachers. The school principal, Mwangi Kuria, said the school fraternity, including students, were quick to put out the fire and salvaging their few belongings.
No, there was no casualties. The students all were in the hall, so there are no students in the dormitories.
A few students were, however, rushed to Murang'a Hospital after they inhaled carbon emitted from the inferno. The cause of the fire is yet to be known.
We have concluded that it must have been some arson attack because we have found some mattresses put together.
Safi Godana, Citizen Live at 1.
The Narok County government is set to spend over $500 million shillings towards the modernization of learning institutions in the county. The plan will be implemented under the county's integrated development plan that, according to Governor Samuel Tunai, is modeled in line with the national government's Vision 2030 socio-economic blueprint. Speaking during a fundraiser at Kipise Hill Secondary School, Narok County Governor Tunai said all primary and secondary schools will be allocated a specific amount of money for the acquisition of modern equipment and lab apparatus as well.
Because education is not devolved, I had to seek special clearance so that I'm able to fund kuweka pesa kwa infrastructure. So I did that, na kwa hii financial year nimetenga 500 million, $500 million shillings ya kuweka tu kuona ya kwamba mashule imejengwa, mahali nataka laboratory, mahali nataka boarding, mahali nataka madarasa, mahali nataka new secondary schools kama hii leo ambaye tumekuja.
Al-Shabaab militants have invaded Boni Forest in Garissa County, where they are illegally burning charcoal for sale. Local leaders have now asked the national government to intervene and drive the militants out to save the forest from being depleted. Alex Njagi reports on that story.
Residents of Garissa County converged at Al Farouk Primary School to launch the School Green program that is aimed at instilling the importance of environmental conservation to pupils.
To establish a standard tree nursery, and this nursery we are targeting the nursery to have at least a minimum of 10,000 seedlings. These 10,000 seedlings will not only be planted by the school, but the seedlings will also be used will also be planted in the neighboring schools.
During the ceremony, the looming danger of deforestation of Boni Forest by Al-Shabaab militants was highlighted.
I'm agitating for the national government to deploy as much as possible, because now we have the effect of Al-Shabaab going for charcoal in Boni Forest, lumbering by big Kenyan industries in Boni Forest and along the Balambara riverine. This is a challenge which the county government cannot stop, don't have the machinery to do that. The few KFS rangers we have here are under capacitated of movement in terms of vehicles because of money for operations. We might supplement the money, but the personnel themselves are very few.
Sala further said that the area has suffered great environmental degradation over the last 20 years as a result of felling of trees for house construction and other uses by refugees.
Going for building materials by people from Somalia and across other places. The refugee is almost 600,000 people, which we cannot cater for, which cannot be supplemented by a few, the ecosystem now available in Garissa.
Garissa County is in dire need of personnel that will help save the forest and see to it that their efforts to increase the forest cover by 10% succeed. Alex Njage, Citizen Live at 1.
Meanwhile, Kenya is on the verge of losing 5.6 million shillings daily due to deforestation. Now, this was disclosed during a ceremony to launch a tree planting project in Boni district, Makueni County. Mbaruk Mwalimu tells us more.
Recently, Kenya has experienced a high rate of deforestation that has increased pressure on forest land, as well as reduced food production. Statistics shows that Kenya's forests are rapidly declining due to pressure from increased population, fuel wool, building materials and other land uses.
This is a very important period because the country has got two regimes of rainfall, and therefore we have the upper region and the lower eastern region, which means this is the part that the rains are at their most and at their best for tree growing.
It is for this and other reasons that community members have embraced tree planting projects. Speaking during the exercise in Boni, Makueni, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. emphasized the need for masses to be enlightened on matters of environment.
The government knows that from the reports that we have, that we are not doing enough as a country to ensure that we reach the forest cover that we should have. Some counties, even in this region like Machakos and other regions like Siaya, are below 5%.
According to the Constitution, Kenya is required to meet the 10% forest cover requirement. Currently, forests contribute around 3.6% of gross domestic product. Mbaruk Mwalimu, Citizen Live at 1.
Well, Kenya has been advised to put into place laws and policies that will ensure natural resources are fairly shared to avert conflict. Experts who spoke at a conference in Kwale raised concerns that the country is already experiencing conflicts due to competition over resources.
Speaking at the 6th Civil Society Week held in Kwale, United Nations Development Programme Deputy Director Fernando Wabaga Ajan said that resources need not be a cause of clashes and bloodshed. Ajan gave examples of countries in Africa and beyond, such as Botswana, Malaysia and Norway, which are stable and have been able to exploit their natural resources without experiencing conflict. The theme of the conference was extractive industries in Kenya, safeguarding citizens' rights, benefits and participation.
It's very timely and crucial as the recent discovery of large-scale natural resources is quickly propelling Kenya into an emerging key player in the extractive industry in the region.
Amkeni Kenya Development Partners Chair Ms. Carol Abung said if Kenyans are not involved in drafting policies on the sharing of resources, the country may be afflicted by what she called the resources curse that has seen many countries getting torn apart by conflicts.
If we don't involve civil society, if we don't involve Kenyans, we might face the danger of falling into the resource curse.
Kwale County Executive Member in charge of minerals and mining, Ali Mafimbo, said mining companies should be thoroughly vetted before they are issued licenses, saying that they must invest in resettlement, migration and management of displaced communities.
In modern extractive business, stakeholder engagement and corporate social responsibility has gone beyond the perception that it is a philanthropic exercise.
Well, focusing our attention now on matters of land, and a group of about 200 elderly women in Kiambu have appealed for help to enable them to settle on land they claim to have acquired during the presidency of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. The group, by the name Kiambu Nyakenywa Women Group, has called on the National Lands Commission and the Ministry of Lands to allocate to its members slots at a 1,500-acre piece of land in Longonot within the county, saying despite acquiring titles to the said piece of land, they are yet to be shown their respective land parcels. The group made the appeal during a meeting with Kiambu Women's representative Anna Nyokabi Gadesha, who has since promised to take up the matter with the concerned authorities.
Kiambu Nyakenywa Farmers Company Limited.
Gaire eka itatu na meeting yatu akwario ri no kona ekrete missing ni uria lakini vile tumepewa title deeds hatujawahi kupelekwa kwa shamba ili kila mtu amepewa, tuko na ballot, tuko na title deed, lakini hatujawahi kuonyeshwa ati hapa ndipo shamba yako iko.
They have their receipts to show that they paid for the land. They have their documentation, and clearly they are now being asked. They are asking where is their land, and for the ministry to ensure that their titles have been issued.
First Lady Margaret Kenyatta has called on all county governments to direct more devolved funds towards acquisition of mobile clinics across the country. The First Lady, who donated the 10th mobile clinic in Kitui, says more needs to be done to ensure mothers have access to free maternity health care.
Ithokwe Grounds, Kitui Town, would play host to the First Lady as she took the Beyond Zero crusade to the residents there, launching the 10th fully equipped mobile clinic in the country, and her rallying call, channel more devolved funds to the cause.
There is also an urgent need to ensure the health facilities are expanded, well equipped and efficiently manned to cope with the demand created by the government's provision of the free maternity services.
And while the First Lady stressed the urgent need for more investment in health infrastructure, it is the need to have more mothers deliver safely without suffering the challenges of financial and logistical constraints that would see her make this assertion.
These medical services and facilities will help us in reaching our goal of eliminating HIV transmission from mother to child, and therefore continue to keep the HIV/AIDS prevalence well below the national average in Kitui County.
She challenged governors and county leaders to ensure full public participation in all development activities within their borders to ensure sustainability of projects. Jackie Maribe, Citizen Live at 1.
Indeed, tomorrow a meeting takes place hosted by UNFPA with 15 counties represented. Parliamentarians will be there, and this meeting focuses on maternal health care, and there's a call to end maternal deaths, so certainly more focus on this, but definitely more governors and county governments need to spend more time and energy on the structures and the systems. We're taking a break. Citizen Live at 1. We'll be right back with business and sport as well.